Welcome back to Now I See on CYC. I'm Anna Choi. Today we continue with our guest Barnaby Howarth. Welcome back, Barnaby.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
How did you come to know Christ?
I didn't so much find Christ, it was more that Christ found me. So when Andrew and I were talking about getting married, we went and saw Father Matthew at St George Church, and he said that the only way to get married in the Coptic Church was for me to get baptised as a Coptic Christian. And I knew that I had to be married to Angela because she was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So for me it was a no-brainer. I decided I'd get baptised then. But then the whole process was sped up a fair bit when Angela was diagnosed with terminal breast cancer in July 2014. So my whole baptism was sped up and everything just sort of snowballed really quickly from there. So yeah, that's why I say Christ found me, because I wasn't going anywhere besides next to Angela. So the only way to do that, she said quite specifically that she was getting married in the Coptic Church, and if I wasn't, then that we're going to be married to different people. So I wasn't going to let that happen. So I decided to get baptised, and things just snowballed from there.
Tell us a little bit more about your baptism and the day of the baptism.
The baptism was amazing. The baptism was in the Arabic church at St George, which it's so meaningful for me. That's the same church Andrew and I got married in. It's being an Arabic church, all the liturgies are in Arabic, so I have no idea what they're talking about when we have liturgies in there, but I just find it so symbolically beautiful and such a really beautiful church. On the day of my baptism, my parents were there, my niece and nephew, some of Angela's family, some of my friends from football, and I got a real sense of how different Angela's family and my family saw the Coptic Church experience. When I was dunked in the water 3 times by Father Matthew, I was in my white tonya. So I came back up and Angela's mother said, "Oh, he looked like an angel. He had a little halo around his head." And my nephew apparently turned to his father, my brother, and said, "I can see Uncle Barnes' undies." So it was quite funny. But that was a beautiful day, and I haven't looked back since that day.
How did you actually fit into the baptismal font? You're so tall.
I tucked my knees up under my chest. And Father Matthew was quite strong. He shoved me nice and deep.
What did your family think of the Coptic Church? Was it their first time visiting the Coptic Church the day that you got baptised?
Yes, it was. And my family have always been very supportive of whatever decisions any of us kids have decided to make. And I decided I was going to get baptised in the Coptic Church, and I wanted to marry Angela, and that was what I was doing. So they didn't look at the church and Angela as a person and start questioning things. They just said, well, if it makes you happy, then go for it.
So how did you prepare for the day of your baptism?
Well, that was another one of the things that was sped up because of Angela's illness. Father Matthew, when I first saw him, said to get baptised in the Coptic Church, you have 7 individual learning sessions with the priest over 7 different nights. So I went to see him on what I thought was night 1, and he bombarded me with a heap of information about the history of the church and what it all meant, and my head was swimming, and I thought, if I've got 6 more of these, I don't know if I'm going to remember it all. And I said, so that's number 1 of 7? And he said, no, that's it. That's all 7. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, because of things needing to be sped up, I decided to do all 7 in one. So I had that one night with him, which was all 7 learning sessions, and then was baptised the next weekend.
So you mentioned everything being sped up. How long after your baptism did you and Angela get married?
So Angela was diagnosed in July 2014. We were engaged in August. I was baptised in September, and then we were married that November. So it was all really quick. But it was just, I mean, a lot of people talk about weddings and how much stress it is when they've got 2 years to prepare. So I was thinking it was going to be a nightmare given we only had months to prepare. But it was the most beautiful thing I've ever been invited to. It was unbelievable. The firstly, the significance of the church. Even though Angela was about 2 hours late, it's still beautiful. Knowing that her family are friends with a lot of the priests, and her brother-in-law's grandfather helped build the church, the Arabic church. As soon as you walk in the door, if it was just a bland church, it'd still be really significant. But it's a beautiful, ornate church as well. So I just had goosebumps when I walked in the church, and all my friends and family were there, and all Angela's friends and family were there, a lot of whom I wasn't all that close with at the time, but have since become very close with over the years. So it was just a magic day. I mean, I know a lot of girls have fairy tales about how beautiful they want their wedding day to be.
That was your fairy
But
tale.
that was my fairy tale. It was such a good day that after the wedding, which was, as I said, the most beautiful wedding ceremony I've seen, the bridal party went to the opera kitchen down under the opera house. And I was walking through with my suit, Angela was walking through with a wedding dress, which was a beautiful dress. We were holding hands, and Angela got a standing ovation as we walked through the opera kitchen.
Keeping it casual.
That's right. That was magic. And then we went up to the Botanic Gardens restaurant, and that's where I got to meet a lot of Angela's family for the first time and friends for the first time, and got to know them as people as well. And they just blew me away, and I still see them to this day, and I'm still fairly close with a lot of them. So that whole day was just, I still pinch myself at how perfect it was. There wasn't one thing. There was a few frustrations when we were planning. You know, Angela was planning things, and I'd be thinking, how's this actually going to work on the day? And she was thinking the same thing about things I was planning. But it all came off beautifully. We had Ahmed Kelly, from who sang that Imagine song on X Factor, the John Lennon song. He came and sang at our wedding. He sang Angela and my our entry song. We had my two brothers spoke, and they both got a bit emotional. So they both had a pair of sunglasses they were handing around to cover up their tears. It was just it was a beautiful night, regardless of Angela's health. It was just a really fun, enjoyable night. Not a real deep and meaningful, tearjerker.
How was her health at that time?
She was healthy right up until her last couple of weeks. She was up and dancing, and she had to wear a wig because her hair was gone. But yeah, health-wise, she was really good up until the last couple of weeks. In fact, she was so good that after we were married, actually before we were married, when she was first diagnosed, we went to our favourite coffee shop and talked about what we wanted to do with our lives. And Angela said, I just want to travel. So after we were married, we went on 19 legs of our honeymoon. We went to Disneyland, Canada, Thailand, New Zealand.
And how long was that? How long did that take?
It was random time. So we went to Disneyland at one stage, came home, and then went to Thailand, came home. So it was just all over the place.
So unfortunately, we have run out of time today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
Please tune in to the next episode of Now I See on CYC to watch the rest of Barnaby's incredible story. Thank you.